Roman here, and are you still not subscribed to Matt's channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
NFL Week 10 is here, guys. And yes, we still have one undefeated team. And that is the Eagles. We will actually look at their Monday night game. They do play Monday night against Washington. I'll discuss that game and two of my favorite games from Sunday, like always. And that's going to be the Vikings at Bills and the Cowboys at the Packers. Guys, like this video. Give me a thumbs up. It does help me out a lot. Comment and share as well. You want my complete card this weekend. You get this. You get the NFL card. You get the UFC 281, which is a huge card, and then of course any NBA or NHL plays that I like. Head over to systemsportscapping.com to join the worldwide client list today. System Capping on all social media platforms. Give me a follow over on Instagram and Twitter. That's where I'm the most active. Let's do a quick NFL Week 9 recap. Another profitable week for myself. Hitting on our two main plays. We attacked the Bengals and Miami all over the market. They were able to win for us. Only bet we lost on Miami was the 4.5. I did take them by 4.5 on the spread. That did not come through, but I was on them on two money line parlays for full unit. We had them in the teaser market as well, which I gave you guys on here, which cashed for us. And it was mainly because of Fields having an outstanding game. That game was even close. Miami was up by 11 in the third, and then Fields just went off. His scrambling abilities are top-notch, one of the best I've seen. He has a bright future if he can get some help at wide receiver. He can really scramble, guys. Very impressive. If it's a 3rd and 15, it doesn't matter much. This guy can just scramble and make it look easy. So it's very impressive. It's similar to Lamar Jackson, but it's not. He kind of does a lot of rollouts, fake handoffs, run corners and sides for 15 yards. He doesn't really run through the middle. You'll see Lamar Jackson just run through the middle off blocks. Fields kind of does more on the edge. He'll get big chunks on the edge for 15, 20 yards. It's impressive to watch. Glad Miami won that. Otherwise, it would have been a bad day for us. 2-1 in the prop market as well were some of the highlights. We did miss out on the Miami, and we also missed out on one total. It was a bad beat. We went 1-1 in total market. I was all over the under in the Ravens game, and their defense showed up like expected with Roquan Smith there in the middle. The one total we did miss, it was under 45 in the Eagles Thursday night game. It got to 46, and it was because of a 2-point conversion. 2-point conversion because the defense went offside. So tough beat there. But again, another profitable, and we're just chipping away each week. Each week we're just profiting. I haven't had that huge week yet, which I'm waiting for. It's going to happen any week now. That perfect week, like a 6-0 week or 8-0 week. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm higher volume. I don't just bet one game or two games a week. It's mixed, right? A couple spreads, a couple totals, a couple props, a teaser, a money line player. It's usually a mix of at least 4 bets up per week. So I'm waiting for that big 6-8-0 week. We did have a couple 6-1, 6-2 weeks so far, but waiting for that perfect week. Update here. It is player props. Totals are the highest right now, around 68%. Happy with that. 42 and 45 run. 42 and 25 run. All bets. That's all bets, teasers, money lines, etc. Just under 8 units of profit. Happy where I'm at, like I mentioned. Profitable in all sports right now, except the NHL. The NHL, well, if you go back, a year, it's 66% run in the NHL. It's just this season so far haven't been profitable in the NHL due to some upsets. For all my updates, go over to the UFC web video if you haven't already. I do full updates there. So definitely go check that out. And also my website, all my updates are there. Let's get right into it, guys. Let's get right into it. Shop around for best prices. Have multiple books. The multiple books, I can't stress that enough, guys. Vikings at Bills minus 3.5. Total 43.5. Game of the week. Game of the week. However, there's a big question mark around it. Is Josh Allen playing? I usually do these videos Thursday night, Friday morning, so I haven't heard the final news from Josh Allen. Make sure you are checking your Twitter feeds to see if Josh Allen practices Friday. If he doesn't, don't think he'll play. I'm leaning towards he doesn't play and gets a week off here, just because he hasn't practiced all week, right? But like I mentioned, watch that Friday injury card. Keenum, their backup. Yes, Keenum is their backup who played for the Vikings. Actually won a playoff game for them, guys. So he is a serviceable backup, probably one of the better backups in the league. But you're playing 7-1 Minnesota Vikings who are playing well right now. You don't want Keenum going in there. Right now Bills favor minus 3.5, total 43.5. I don't know if that line is if Allen's playing or Case Keenum's not playing. If it's Case Keenum, I think this should be a pick'em. To be honest, guys. We're going to have to see. Definitely look out for that. And Vikings 7-1, I definitely didn't have them here at 7-1. Obviously, that coaching change has been a big deal for them. It has really helped. And they're just starting to put it all together at all aspects of the ball. Playing better defensively. Obviously, their pass defense is not great, but they are getting to the quarterback. They are getting points on the board. And, they have a balanced offense with the run game and obviously Jefferson as well. This Minnesota team is just not great against the pass, which I mentioned, around 27th in the NFL, allowing 256 yards per game. Now, if Allen's in there, he's going to have a heyday. If he's not, maybe is Case Keenum going to throw the ball over them? I don't think so. So against the run, Minnesota's top 10. So you're going to have to think, Buffalo likes to throw the ball anyways. If they're running the ball, it's mainly Allen running the ball like he did last week against the Jets. But you have to see, if Allen does play, I do think Buffalo wins this game. I do think Allen bounces back after the Jets. Yes, the Jets beat them in the upset. Allen didn't have a great game. And being how good he is, MVP status, I expect him to bounce back if he plays. If he doesn't, I think Vikings could steal this one on the road, especially if they get Cook going again. This Buffalo rush D has not been good, guys. It is not good against the run. Over 150 yards in the last 3 games. That is not good. Jets ran all over them. So that's a little bit of a concern there. Their secondary, top 3 in the league. Not worried about their secondary against a pass. I do think Cousins is going to struggle there. Jefferson's not going to be able to have a huge game. Like he usually does, or even last week, 115 yards against Washington. But I expect the Vikings to run the ball here on the road. So look at Cook props over. I would see if you can get in the 50-60 range to bet Cook over. I haven't looked at it yet. Some of these props will come out the Friday night, even pushing to Saturday on some of the books. So look for that. You can't bet anything right now on spread or total. You're going to have to see if Allen's in. But I like Minnesota to run the ball here on the road. Buffalo has looked stingy against the run. And it's bad. It's 3 games in a row now. It's a fairly large sample size. And, you're not going to beat them in the air. So if you can run on this team, I think Vikings have a good chance here. And Cook should be heavily involved. So look at his props there in that game. Good game, though, especially if I want Allen to play because I want to see how good this Minnesota team really is. But even if Allen does play, is he 100%, right? Cowboys minus 4.5 at Packers, total 43.5. The struggling Packers look for a win to avoid 6 straight losses, but it will be a tall task versus this Cowboys team off a bye, guys. Run the ball should be the Packers' game plan. You have 2 good running backs in Jones and Dillon, and the Cowboys have struggled versus the run at 24th in the NFL. Now, Jones did get banged up last week. I think he's playing. I don't think there's any issues there, but definitely look out for that. Another storyline here, Mike McCarthy coming back to Green Bay, right? That's always a story when these guys play. Rodgers and McCarthy had some documented issues, so that's definitely going to be something to look at here. Rodgers coming off one of the worst games he's played in a while, guys. Probably of the year for sure. 3 interceptions, and it was against the worst defense in the NFL, Detroit Lions. And now Dallas is coming in here with one of the best defenses in the NFL. Parsons, Beast, 8 sacks on the year. Fowler, Lawrence, all these guys are getting 3 sacks plus, and he's going to be bringing pressure. pressure is coming Rodgers' way. How is he going to handle it with no wide receiver? He still doesn't have a wide receiver run, guys. Lazard is the wide receiver 1. He's a wide receiver 2 at best. At best. Wide receiver 3 more on a good team. You got to keep that in mind. They have to run the ball here. They have to run the ball in the Cowboys, and you can run the ball in the Cowboys. But you can also run the ball in the Packers. 5 yards per carry against running backs on the year. I expect Pollard to have a big game. Zeke will be back to help out as well. But let Pollard loose. Let him loose. They're letting him loose. He's averaging 6.2 yards per carry. 6.2 yards per carry. Let him loose, guys. He's one of the best backs at getting big chunks. Like, he can easily get like a 30-yard run just like that out of nowhere, right? I really like Pollard. They're letting him loose. I don't think, even though Zeke is playing in this game, I don't think they should give him more than anywhere from 5 to 7 touches, maybe some goal line carries. But I think they got to let RB1 Pollard loose and run all over this. We know the secondary is pretty good with the Packers. Could limit Dak a little bit. So I think Pollard could have a big game here. Look at his totals over if they're nothing too crazy. Remember, Zeke back. Total should go down a bit. Total should go down. I think it was in the high 70s for his previous games. Should be a little lower now with Zeke back, and you can maybe take advantage of that. I like Cowboys here on the money line, teaser market. 4.5's tough, just because I lean the 4.5. Am I gonna bet the 4.5? Probably not. But the Packers, they're due to show up, and it's at home. I looked at weather, no weather concerns. It's going to be cold, but no snow or anything, so that's not going to be an issue. It's just they don't have the tools and the weapons this year, guys. They don't have it. If you watch Rodgers on Pat McAfee every Tuesday, you should. If you don't, McAfee asked the question, and he just can't say it. He can't say his team sucks. He has no weapons. He can't say that. But you can tell, right? Rodgers says, what do you want me to say, Pat? He says that he can't say it, but he wants to say it, and they say it off camera, right? Rodgers doesn't have the weapons. That's it. So run the ball a bunch and let the pass open a little bit. That's what they have to do. They can't throw the ball a ton here. They're going to have to run the ball and try to sneak a win on the ground. And, that's why the Jones and Dillon props are always active in this game especially, because Dallas is not great against the run. Good secondary, like to bring pressure. But yeah, I think Dallas should win this game. Even if it's a close game, I think they get it done. It's just too much offensive firepower for me. Monday Nighter. Washington at Eagles. Another high spread, guys. 11. Total 44. Last time Eagles couldn't cover that high spread on the road. That was on the road. It was like 14. I think it was 12 or 11 they won by against Houston. They struggled at times in that game against Houston. They didn't look that 8-0 team at points in that game. Houston was able to keep it close, but Eagles pulled away. Can they stay undefeated here? I expect them to. Am I jumping over a -11? Definitely not. This Washington team shows that they play close games for the most part. Obviously, Eagles have already blown them out earlier in the year. But Washington, that was with Wentz. Looks like with Heineke, they're playing a little better, a little more healthier now. So I definitely won't be all over Eagles -11, but you can definitely look at them to win this game, and maybe in the teaser market if you want. Total's tough to get to. I lean the over at 44, but Eagles have been the story. They've definitely been the story of the year. I don't think they're going to go perfect, right? They're definitely not going to go perfect on the year, but I could see them losing maybe the Dallas game, Giants maybe on the road, or maybe Minnesota. One of those games, maybe two of those games, I expect them to struggle. And it's not just the offense. We know they have the fancy weapons. We know they have the A.J. Browns of the world and Sanders out running back, sprinkled in with Goddard and, of course, Smith. They have the weapons. Hurts playing well. That's what I didn't expect, Hurts playing this well. It was a question mark. How well is he going to play? He's playing well, right? Still on the over 9.5. That might hit any week now. What are they? Yeah, so it's definitely going to hit. Is it going to hit, with 5-6 games left? That's always nice in the future market. But really, it's the defense. It's the defense that's playing against the secondary, right? If you look at their numbers, Slay is having a big year, but having just as big of a year as Bradbury as well. Allowing 40% rate thrown to him, and Slay is first with just under 37. And that's 1-2 in the NFL. That's the reason, guys, right? Because against the run, they're not great. Not terrible versus the run, but they're not great against the run. And Pierce showed them last week, ran all over them. What do you have, 120, 140 yards? So, if a team comes in there, runs the ball like a Giants, with Barkley has a huge game and able to limit Hurts somehow, that's how I think you beat this Eagles team. But Washington definitely has none of that. So, Washington's not going to run the ball well. Defense is decent. They're decent against the run. Top 10 against the run. Against the pass, they're not great though. 100 rating they're allowed. So they're allowing. So Eagles are going to win this game. I don't see this being a threat for them to lose their undefeated streak here. But it's going to come. It's going to come. I just don't know when. It's not going to be this week. Teaser options, guys. Teaser options. I gave you guys another winner last week with the Vikings, Bengals, and Dolphins. 7-point teaser hit fairly easily. This week, Chiefs at home, -2.5 versus the Jags. They're going to win that game. Wouldn't be surprised if Jags cover. Could be a sneaky cover there. It is 9.5. 49ers at home just to win. Just to win the game. And Debo will be back. It's a big bonus. And the Chargers just bang up an offense. Tough spot for them. I thought they should have lost to Atlanta last week. And then Dallas at +2. Expect to win the game outright. I don't know. I don't see Packers. This is the week they win. They're going to win eventually, but this is not a good week for them to win the game. Underdogs of the week. Underdogs of the week. We passed last week after the big Browns the winner the week before. There's a few I would lean to. It got to look at Pittsburgh at home if TJ Watt plays. TJ Watt plays, pull the trigger on Pittsburgh. I think it's good plus money there, +110. It's lower. But I think it's a good spot for Pittsburgh off the bye. And at home. They play fairly well at home. A few other teams to look at that's possible. Maybe the Lions road win after a big win against Green Bay could give them some momentum, some confidence. So maybe a lean to the Lions. But, Bears has been keeping it close in games. Expect to be high scoring in that one. That will do it, guys. That will do it. NFL Week 10. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you haven't watched a UFC video, go watch it now. Big card there. And World Cup 2022 video is going to be out on Sunday. Check it out. It's going to be a longer video. I'm breaking down all teams. Going to give free future plays. Euro Cup, I did a video. Gave you guys Italy outright +1100. Going to do outright markets, some future bets, so definitely check that out. Like I always say, guys, bet smart and know your limits. Take care.